while since I've recorded a pen review, so I think this is going to be a good one. The pen that I am taking a look at today is the Christoph Model 65. This guy is on loan and has been with me for far too long, so I really needed to get this done so I can get sent back home. So, just going to I decided to kind of start doing my pen review videos similar to how I format my blog posts. So if you're familiar with kind of how I format my pen reviews on my blog, it's going to kind of now follow a similar progression. That way they'll mesh up a little bit better between the video and the blog post. So first thing I want to start with is physical presence. So this is kind of, how does the pen look? How does the pen feel? Things like that. So this is a Christoph Model 65. It is the black version. It's a very shiny black, as you can see. This is a very long pen. Let's see, a couple of pens to compare it to. So here's a Lamy Safari, which I always think makes a good benchmark because a lot of people have held a Lamy Safari and kind of have a gauge on how big it is. So you can see there's a pretty decent length difference. And then here's a TWSBI VAC 700, since that's kind of the only thing I have that's close to an oversized pen. And you can see the two of those are very similar in length. The interesting thing about the Model 65 is that it has a very short cap. So the cap is only this long. So if I unscrew the cap, this is kind of the opposite of the long cap kind of Japanese pens that have a short body with a long cap that makes it a regular size pen. This has a very short cap. So you can see that even uncapped, it's a very long pen. Let's uncap the TWSBI. And let's uncap the Safari for comparison. So you can see it's a very long pen. And that's because they kind of meant this to be like a version of their desk pen, so it's not really meant to be something that you carry around with you all the time. So in that case, being long is not a big deal, and I have no problem with it. It's a very light pen. This is made out of acrylic, I believe. Let me check. It doesn't say. Okay, anyway, I'm pretty sure it's made out of acrylic. So it's very light. It's roughly the same weight as a Safari, I'd say. So, but that's great as a desk pen because that means it's going to be very comfortable if you're writing for a long time. It's the body is you can see it's very shiny. It's smooth, but it's not like super slippery, if that makes sense. Like the Safari and the Christoph feel very different. This has that feeling where there's like a little bit of stick to it, if that makes sense. Like it's obviously smooth, but there's grip to it, and I like that. Another interesting thing about this guy is that, let's see if I can get my camera to focus. And of course, the fact that it's a shiny black material is not going to help me much here, but you can kind of see that the threads are on the end of the section. So this is normally where threads are, kind of where the section meets the barrel, no threads. So the threads are on the very end of the section, and it's a very short thread, so it's one turn basically, or less. It's a very short threaded cap, which again is great for a desk pen where you don't have to worry about it, wiggling its way loose in your pocket. So that is nice. And because the threads are at the end of the section, that means the people who tend to hold their pen further back aren't going to have a problem with their fingers on the threads, even though the threads aren't sharp as it is. Another neat thing about this pen, so you can see that it's clipless, which is not really my style, but that's kind of beside the point. The problem with clipless pens is that they tend to, if they get started rolling, they're going to keep rolling because there's nothing to stop them. They're just round and they'll roll right off your desk. You can see this guy doesn't roll because it has this flat side on it, and actually there it has kind of engraved Christoph Model 65. Ta-da! So this flat side means that even if I put it down on one of the not flatter sides, it's going to roll and land on that flat side. So that's going to keep it from rolling all over the place, which I think is a great feature on a clipless pen. So that's kind of the physical presence. It's a long pen, it's a big pen. It does post, so you can post it, and it posts pretty securely. And it doesn't, because the cap is so short, it doesn't seem to get ungodly long when you do post it. And the fact that it's so light means that it's not uncomfortable to hold, even though it's so long. Like I find this, I'm not a huge fan of oversized pens, and I find it to be very comfortable to hold. It rests nicely in my hand. It's got a good weight. So that's really nice. Writing experience. So this guy has just a steel nib in it. It's a good steel nib. It's a nice smooth steel nib. I didn't have any problems with it skipping or, starting up, except that I left some ink in it for quite a while and kind of forgot about it a little bit. So it did obviously have a little bit of trouble after that. But even then, like it kind of was ready to go pretty quickly. A few scribbles and then it was ready to go. So it's a medium nib. It's a smooth nib. No problems with it. Frankly, Christoph does offer a ton of nib options. So you can get nibs customized by Mike Masuyama. I think you can get steel nibs. You can get all kinds of stuff. So, I don't want to spend too much time thinking about the nib because, there's a lot of other options. And this is kind of the most boring option there is, although I found it to be very pleasant to write with. The writing experience, of course, isn't just the nib. It's also about, is the pen comfortable to write with? I kind of covered that even though it's a very long pen, it's very comfortable. The section also has this very slight hourglass kind of curve to it. And that combined with the kind of stickiness I was mentioning with the material that the body's made out of means that your fingers just grab right there and you're not going anywhere. It's not going to get slick. It's not going to fall out of your hand. It's really comfortable to hold. And the fact that it's so light means that you don't have to grip it super hard, so your hands aren't going to get sweaty from that. So overall, it's a really nice pen to have in your hand and to write with. For the filling system, it's a cartridge converter pen. So you can see I have just a standard international type converter in there. It takes standard international cartridges, short or long, given how long the body is. But like a lot of Franklin Christoph pens, you can also use this as an eyedropper because there's no metal parts on it. And given how long the barrel is, I'm pretty sure it would hold a lot of ink as an eyedropper. And especially like as a desk pen, that might not be such a bad thing because if you're going to sit down and, write for a long time, you'd want to have a lot of ink in your pen. So that's pretty neat. Given that this isn't my pen, I didn't eyedropper it. Not that I would go through that much ink. I don't go through that much ink. So, but it is an option and that's pretty awesome. So kind of overall, how do I feel about it? I think this is a really nice pen. I'm glad that I had the chance to borrow it from someone. It's not a pen that I would have ever bought myself. It's probably something that I would have picked up and played with at a pen show. I'm planning on going to the DC pen show in August, and I definitely want to stop by the Franklin Christoph table because I want to see some of their like ice models. The flat black is, just not super appealing to me. It's a very nice pen. I like it a lot. What I wrote down was, let's see. Very nice pen, would definitely recommend as a desk pen depending on cost, because when I was kind of writing my notes up on this pen, I hadn't looked at the website. I had no idea how much this pen cost because I kind of wanted to not be very biased about it. So I am looking at the website right now, and as of today, which is in May 2015, this pen is $145 with a steel nib. Of course, when you add a customized nib or a gold nib, the price is going to go up, understandably. So basically it starts at $145. And I don't know if it does not look like the other materials cost any more. So $149. Did I say 145? $149. $149.50. Sorry. Numbers, they're so hard. So about $150. I don't know that I would pay $150 for this pen. Yes, it's a pen that's made here in the US. Yes, I think they're made by hand. So, a lot of craftsmanship goes into these pens. It's a beautiful pen. It's a fun pen to write with. All of that. But, for $150, I can get into the range of a Pilot Vanishing Point. I can get into a lot of other pens. And I just don't know that this would be my first choice. Granted, maybe if I saw it in a different body, I would be like, oh my God, I don't care how much it costs, give it to me. So I'm not saying that it's not worth the cost, because obviously it is to some people. I'm saying this particular pen in this particular color and finish, it doesn't really do it for me. However, I'm kind of loving the, I think it's the Model 40 Pocket in the like fire and ice or the smoke and ice. Ugh. So you know, maybe I'll sing a different tune once I actually see those in person and have a chance to write with them. So I think this is a great pen. It's really well made. You can tell that a lot of effort went into it. There's a little Franklin Christoph logo. Let's see, can I focus on that? Little Franklin Christoph logo on the very top here. But I mean, otherwise, like, this thing is seamless. Like, there's no little burrs on the bottom or anything. It's a beautiful, well-made pen. And I think if you don't mind the cost and you're looking for a really great, like, desk type of pen, I would highly recommend this. Otherwise, you know, maybe it's just not quite your thing, and that's cool too. I haven't really explored, you know, long desk type pens very much, so this was kind of a good way to get started into it. And I'm sure that every desk pen I try from here forward will be compared to this. So not a bad one to kind of cut my teeth on. So that's my thoughts. Anyone, if you have a Franklin Christoph and you love it or hate it, let me know. I'd be very interested in kind of hearing what people think about them. If you have this pen and you love it or hate it, let me know. Let me know why you love it. Let me know why you bought it. Let me know kind of what sold you on it. Because like I said, I'm not sold on this one, but I could be on another one. Yeah, that's all I got for today. And I'm going to try and get doing some more reviews kind of more consistently coming up here. So stay tuned.